and happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros. You're an incredible human. This is Wisdom Wednesday, a little space where I like to carve out some time to share some life coaching tools and tips, perhaps some personal growth techniques, and maybe a couple of stories. What was that? No. I don't know. Anyways, okay, so last week we talked about holding our joy as sacred, and if you did the activity, it was just basically to create a list of all the people, places, things, experiences that bring you joy. And then I'm like, at the end of that video, I was like, I'm going to tell you what to do with that next week. You know what you're going to do with that? You're going to do the stuff on the list. That's it. You're going to use the list as a tool and remind yourself to tap into your joy every single day. And you're going to use that list because when you're feeling kind of funky, and sometimes when you're in a funk, you can't think of joyful things. You're going to look at that list and be like, oh, there's all these things that I can do to boost my own joy because it's my responsibility and because it's sacred, right? Okay, so today we're going to talk about joy and the self. And next week we're going to talk about joy and others. And so I want to give you these 4 kind of tips, tools, suggestions, if you will, on how to boost your own inner joy. When we were children, no one had to remind us that joy was our natural state. We just knew, and we returned there as much and as quickly as possible. And then the older we got and the more acclimated we got to the programming that said you have to earn joy and it's temporary and fleeting, the more we believed it and the more we lived it. And for a lot of people, it's like really joy is few and far between. And the other thing that I want to mention about joy is that as a person of color or as a person who has been oppressed by the system in any way, joy is a rebellion, right? The system is designed to hold you back and to hold you down. So if you are any marginalized group and you tap into your joy, you're actually giving a beautiful little FU to the system because the system is designed to hurt you and you're saying, you will not touch my joy. Like, get your hand out my cookie jar, right? And so joy is also, let that be another like motivation for you to return to and tap into your joy. All right, so here's what I have for you today. The first suggestion is to practice gratitude. Oh, what? You've heard that before from me like 1,000 times? Yeah, and you're going to keep hearing it because it's such an important part of making sure that we keep ourselves in a space that is healthy and happy. And when I say healthy, I'm talking mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, all the versions of health, right? All the different arenas, rather, of health. And so when we practice gratitude in all the different arenas of our lives, we actually allow ourselves to see more things to be grateful for, which then allows us to attract more things to be grateful for. I'm talking little things, big things, people, places, situations, experiences, right? Similar to your joy list, the things that bring you joy, look around your life at the things that make you grateful, that bring you a little more ease, a little more fun, a little more light, a little support, a little love. Maybe a lot of those things. I think about like, if I had to list 10 things for you, little big experiences, I would say chapstick, running water, indoor plumbing, the products to keep my hair curly and healthy, healthy foods in my house, my refrigerator, the dishwasher, hugs from my daughter, teaching the fitness classes in the morning, and all those amazing humans who participate and traveling internationally, right? Those are 10 things that have impacted my life for the better. And so I allow myself room and time to be grateful for those things. There's several ways you can do this. You can start a gratitude journal. You can start off with 1, 2, 3 things, right, that you're grateful for every day. You can do a gratitude jar. My daughter and I did this where every day we would write one thing that happened during that day that we were grateful for, and we put them all in the jar. And at the end of the year, this jar was like jam-packed. There was over 700 things in this jar. And on New Year's Eve, we sat and ate popcorn and read through all of them. And then my daughter was making snow angels in them, right? You can play gratitude games with your friends and family. Like, hey, 5 things you're grateful for, go. You know, I sometimes send out a text to my closest people and I'll go, 5 things you're grateful for, go. And everybody will send, things back and forth like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And it just allows us to reset. One of the things that I love to do with gratitude is first thing in the morning when I wake up, I smile. I know it sounds corny. I don't care. It's my truth. And then I start thanking my body, because this vessel is going to carry me through the day. I thank my brain because it's going to give me clarity, and it's going to help me find solutions, and it's going to help me be creative. I thank my mouth so that the words that come out of my mouth are filled with love. I thank my ears that they hear with compassion from other people. Like, I kind of turn on that filter. I thank my eyes so that I can see all the beauty that my life has to offer. It might sound corny. I don't care. This is legit how I wake up in the morning in order to kind of start my day off on that right foot. So no matter what obstacles or opportunities come up during that day, I'm looking at them from a place of gratitude, right? I've kind of preset my day to gratitude. So that's the first thing that I suggest, is that you practice more gratitude, because with the practice of gratitude, it has also been scientifically proven that it boosts happy hormones throughout your body, which increases your joy. You got it. The second thing that I'm going to suggest is that we become better practiced at being honest with ourselves. And this isn't always easy, again, if we have acclimated to the programming that says, do what other people want you to do to make them feel better for 5 whole minutes, right? And what happens there is that we surrender pieces of ourselves, then we feel exhausted, and then we resent those people or those jobs or those situations or those things, because we have surrendered ourselves. We are not being honest with ourselves in hopes that they'll be happy for 5 whole minutes. And then what happens? They change the game on us, right? Now imagine if instead we said, I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to operate from that place of honesty. I'm going to love and honor myself. And then I'm also going to love and honor you, but not at the expense of being honest about who I am and how I show up in the world, right? So think about being honest with yourself first and foremost. When we are, a lot of times, saying our honest truth into the world, to one person, to a group of people, can feel like massive, right? Because we're so worried about judgment. That's real. And we're worried about loss of relationships and loss of dynamics in the things that are in our lives. That is real. And not one person that I know who has been honest with themselves and has lived their honesty ever said, I wish I didn't. Not one. They said, on the other side of that, I found greater freedom. I found more loving and supportive people. I found more joy. I found more happiness. I found a healthier me, right? So really cultivating this practice of being honest with ourselves. The third thing is, in alignment with gratitude and being honest with ourselves, is using affirmations on a consistent basis. Affirming yourself. I am amazing. I am incredible. I am important. I am enough. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am creative. I am strong. I am resilient. I am resourceful. There's a few for you right there in case you couldn't think of them. And all of those are true of every single human. I have not met a human who didn't fit that particular list right there. And then really be honest with yourself. I am funny. I am goofy. I am fun to be around. I am lovable. All humans are lovable, by the way, right? So affirming ourselves and saying the things to ourselves that we sometimes require other people to say to us. So we take them off of the hook. That's not your job anymore. If you say it, it's a bonus, but it's not your job anymore. And now I'm going to boost my own joy by reminding myself how amazing I am. I'm going to be honest with myself, right? When we say, oh, I'm so dumb, those are actually the lies. In saying, I am amazing, I've solved problems before, I'm intelligent. Those are the truth. So we're living in a space of honesty, and then we're actually practicing that by how we speak to ourselves through our affirmations. And then the last thing, number 4, the last thing that I want to suggest to you is kind of shifting the way you look at your achievements. And what I mean by that is, I remember when I was growing up, I used to think that when I achieved something, it was for me to be somebody. And then in the being somebody, what that meant was other people would approve. And then they would say, oh, she's doing something. She is somebody. But that, again, is temporary, right? So I started creating this shift in my head, and I said, okay, why am I trying to achieve this? Again, this goes back to being honest with myself. Am I trying to achieve this for the people so they can applaud me and I can feel good about that for 5 minutes? Or am I doing this as evidence of how amazing I am? Am I doing this to share these stories in hopes to help other people? Am I doing this because I really feel the strong desire to become the representation of whatever? Am I doing this, right? So really kind of honing in on what our motivation is and recognizing that our achievements should be for this first and foremost. I'm doing this and I'm achieving this to remind myself how capable and strong and incredible I am. And then all the rest becomes a bonus, not a necessity, right? And all of these things help increase our joy. So recap, practice gratitude every single day. And I'm talking single day. Okay. Second, be honest with yourself about who you are and what freedom means to you. And then allow yourself little by little, if necessary, to be honest with the world, because your version of you is extraordinary. And the more that we show up in our realness, the more we give permission to other people to do the same, right? The third thing is to use the power of our words to affirm ourselves and to increase our joy from the inside out. And then the last thing is to really look at why we're trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve, and or even looking back over our past achievements and saying, oh my gosh, I learned this about myself, and I realized that I am capable, and I realized that I am amazing, and I am extraordinary. And the reality is that you already are somebody, right? You don't have to check a bunch of things off of a list to be somebody. You're already valid. You're already deserving. You're already worthy. And then all of the other stuff that you do is just, again, evidence of how creative you are. That's evidence of how intelligent you are. It's evidence of how beautiful and amazing and extraordinary you are. It's evidence, but you already are, right? This just becomes like a little more proof, I guess. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that this was beneficial. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please go ahead and share it. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or give it a thumbs down if you didn't. I'm not the boss of you, right? That's all I have. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. You're amazing and you deserve all the joy. So over the next week, practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.